And it's 8:08. We are Bob and Marianne in the morning. You are listening to News Talk Radio, WOBM, AM 1160 and 1310. Friday's my favorite day of the week. I don't know why, but it just flies by. And today I have two very special guests with me. Returning guests, I have Safety Officer Stephen Schwartz from the Toms River Township Police Department. And then see, you know what to do, Steve. And I also have Chief Mitch Little, who is our police chief here in Toms River. Welcome, Chief Little.
Hi, Marianne. Thanks for having me back.
You're welcome anytime. Our door's always open to you guys. You
Thank
know
you.
that, how much I appreciate everything you do. But I asked you in here today for a specific reason, not that you're not always welcome. Monday is a big fundraiser for you.
That's our Vesta Cop fundraiser. It's the 25th anniversary.
And it's over at Pizza Hut on Route 37 East in Toms River.
Correct, right in front of Kmart.
All right. Now, people think when you become a cop, you get your uniform and you get a vest.
Right.
Okay? You get a vest, period. That's it, done. I think very little people know, and I've become a little knowledgeable about it, they wear out.
Absolutely.
There's an expiration date on your Kevlar vests.
They're actually good for 5 years. And to be honest, the officers have to even buy their own uniforms when they come on. The only thing we buy them is leather gear, the weapon, and some other equipment, flashlight, things like that, raincoat.
You have to buy your own uniforms?
Yeah, the officers have to buy their uniforms. We stopped doing that a long time ago. I would like to go back to like a voucher system where when a uniform goes bad, we could actually take it and get them a new one. But that's a huge expense to the town also. So, some things we had to give up. So.
And one of them was your uniform.
Yeah, one of them was your uniform. So, it's something that's always been a sticking point. But the vests are very expensive. Like even just the uniform's expensive.
What? Just around the curiosity, because listener friends are curious. We just take for granted that as soon as you get inducted.
Yeah, we don't want to get.
You know what I mean. As soon as you become a cop, you're handed like a uniform, almost like a prison. Here, you're going to wear this. Boom.
Shave your head.
But that's not the way it is.
No.
You have to purchase your uniform.
Yes.
So let's just take Steve's Well, you have the same uniform on. Same uniform. You just have different badges and different bars or whatever. How much would your uniform cost? A summer, because I see you're still in summer. You're still in the short sleeve
still
summer.
A parade. Yeah.
Yeah, just a hair cheaper. Like just the pants, of course, they're custom made.
Right.
Of course, the stripe is sewn in and all that. They're about $100.
For just one pair of pants.
$200 basically for the
$200 just for the shirt and pants.
And you guys just don't have one set. You can't have one set.
You have to have a minimum of at least 3. To get you through a week, and then you're taking them to dry cleaning, and they can't be washed in a washing machine.
Yeah,
so that's like $10 a uniform.
So we take that for granted that you guys are just given these uniforms to wear, and it's not. You have to take this out of your own pocket.
Sure.
Now, how about shoes and boots?
All out of the officer's pocket.
All out of the officer's pocket.
Yeah, the only thing we buy is like the gun belt, because it's got to be, obviously everything has to be specific, but the gun belt we purchase, the holster, the weapon, flashlight, raincoat, things like that we purchase, and we can keep that because we can keep a couple different sizes of those things. But when it's a uniform, because they're custom made, there's no way we can even have a room big enough to keep the amount of sizes and things we need. So years and years ago, we decided we're going to have officers go to a vendor that sells these things that either won the bid or whatever, and they can go and get their uniform from them. And it's just easier. But it's hard for an officer just starting out at the starting salary of $40,000 a year. It seems like a decent salary, but after you figure everything in and you're paying pension and everything else, you walk away about half of that. And then they're expected to.
I never realized that.
Yeah, they're expected to get on the road and have everything they need to actually perform. So it's tough.
All right. So now this is where we're coming down to the bulletproof vest, the Kevlar vest, the Vesta Cop.
Correct.
This is a fundraiser in order to raise funds for vests for our police officers here. And I said before, because listener friends have said to me, you're just talking about Toms River. Well, yeah, we're from Toms River. This is my township. But when you stop and think about it, all our police officers are not from Toms River.
Right.
Some of our cops can be coming from your hometown, and they're helping people here.
Right.
You could be visiting this town.
Yes.
And they're helping you, God forbid you need it.
Right.
Just like in their town, we have cops that live in Toms River that work elsewhere. So it's all one big, the way I look at it, it's one big pool. Sure. You help one cop, you're helping them all.
Absolutely. Sure.
So what does a vest cost?
They're about $1,000 each. So
are you serious?
Right.
$1,000 for one vest?
Right. Now, they last longer than 5 years, but they're warranted for 5 years. So we want to make sure that these vests are replaced every 5 years. Because with different things, weather conditions, if they get wet, if they sweat, sometimes the Kevlar can break down. So each company warranties it for about 5 years. So at 5 years, we try to get these vests. Now, there's a couple ways we get the vests.
Okay.
These are personal vests. These are the vests that officers wear under their uniform shirt, over their T-shirt.
Is it mandatory to wear a vest?
It is.
Okay.
It is now. If you're doing any kind of patrol function on the road, it's mandatory to wear a vest. We actually had to put that in our policy because we get a state grant and we get a federal grant. And if we don't have that in our policy, they call it a mandatory wear policy. If we don't have that in there, they will not give us the funding. So we had to make it mandatory, and that's a good thing.
Okay, yeah, it is a good thing. It's uncomfortable, but it's a good thing.
It is. But you get used to it. It's like any other profession. I mean, roofers have to get comfortable standing on roofs and carrying all their equipment. We have to get comfortable doing what we do.
Okay.
So it's a necessary thing. We had 1 year, depending on the amount of officers that come up to that expiration date, 1 year we have 70 officers at the same expiration date because there was a recall at one point. So over the course of 3 years, we ordered, say, 20, 30 vests for each officer.
At $1,000 a vest.
At $1,000 a vest, there was a recall. And the recall happened, obviously, at the same time. So 70 officers had to turn their vests in, get 70 new ones, and now they're on a rotation. For every 5 years, we have to come up with $70,000.
Holy
so,
mackerel.
And that's only one set. We have 160 officers, sworn officers. So it adds up big time. So we do get the federal, we get the state, but the vest fund is so important for us. And then people ask, well, why can't the town pay for that? They pay for everything else. No, they really don't, and they really can't all the time. There's a budget, and some things are just beyond what they can.
Even though
pay for.
I believe this is absolutely, we all believe it's a necessary item. I mean, we hear about it every day.
Sure.
Okay, you don't know what's out there. There's a lot of wackadoodles. There's just somebody going off the wall for your own protection. You have to have them. All right, you have to have them.
Right.
So you have this fundraiser. Last year, I'm just going to take last year. What did you raise last? Do you know?
I think we average around $15,000 to $20,000 sometimes a year.
All right, so that got
builds.
you maybe 15 vests.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, which is huge.
Okay. All right. So this year it's coming up. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back. You're not going anywhere. Okay. You're on house arrest right now. It's 8